How is it the end of February already? I cannot even believe it. This is our last pizza installment, and I don't know about you, but I think I probably saved the best for last. This one is my absolute favorite, and because I have this brand newfound love for caramelized onions. Who would have ever thought? For as long as I can remember, I've despised onions. All things onions. If they were even anywhere touching my plate, I would have to send the whole thing back. I couldn't take it. And now if I don't cook caramelized onions on any given day, I feel like something might be missing from my life. So what a 360-degree turnaround this has been. But I couldn't be more excited to share this recipe with you all. It's for a caramelized onion and sausage pizza with ricotta cheese and an arugula salad on the top. That's awesome. And really, with the salad on top, it's kind of just a one-dish full meal. So get pumped because I think you're going to love this one. Let's get started. And these are the caramelized onions. Now, look at how few onions this actually made. This was an entire onion in here. And do you see how little onions you actually get? Just keep that in mind if you're going to caramelize your own onions. It takes a lot of raw onions to make any caramelized onions. So, if we've talked about caramelized onions quite a few times. Lots of onions, very low heat, very slow cooking. If you want, I have a tutorial on my website, which is lovetobeginagain.wordpress.com. You can check out all the pictures step by step. They're super easy to make. But we're going to start with those caramelized onions. Now, the other thing we're going to have is sausage. Now this is sweet Italian sausage, pork sausage. You could use hot Italian sausage if you like a whole lot of heat. You could use a chicken sausage if you like that. Whatever kind of sausage you like, but there's something about the pork sausage and the caramelized onions, just an awesome combo. So I just cooked that off here. Now just a quick tip, when I cook sausage, I just render it down in the pan, and right before it's almost done, I just go once around the pan with a fortified wine, like a Marsala or a sherry, or if you just have a thing of red wine or white wine that you've been nursing for a week or so, pour the dregs in and let that kind of deglaze the bottom of your pan. I can't tell you the depth of flavor that adds. It's just awesome. So that's what I've done here. And it's ready to go. Now, for the spread, this is not a tomato sauce-based pizza. It's a kind of a white pizza because there's a ricotta cheese spread on the bottom. I feel like I've been using a lot of ricotta during this pizza segment here this month, and I don't know, I've just become obsessed with it. It's awesome. So here's some ricotta. We're gonna add, I think I've mentioned this before, ricotta is kind of like sour cream. It needs salt. So we're gonna add some salt and just a few red chili flakes, and then some herbs. I know I've mentioned this. We have this awesome inside herb grower that what do we have growing on? We've got parsley, we've got mint, we've got some dill. I love cilantro, so that's in there too. But I just thought we'd grab a couple of these herbs here to add to that ricotta cheese. You can add whatever you'd like. If there's certain herbs you don't like, I really don't like dill, so that's not one I'm gonna add. But I love parsley and I love cilantro. Rosemary would be great in this. Thyme would be awesome. If we had some fresh thyme, that would be great. Again, if you want to use dried herbs, feel free. Just remember, much less dried herb than fresh herb because they're really, really powerful. Now again, I'm sure you've seen me do this before. The tighter you bunch up your herbs, the easier it is to actually chop them on your board. So just make a super tight little bunch and then run your knife through them. And that's all we're going to add to this ricotta. You know what we might add actually is just a tiny drizzle of olive oil. That'll help loosen up the ricotta a little bit and give it a nice richness that is really helpful on this pizza. So I'm going to get those herbs in here. I'm going to grab some olive oil, just a little bit. I'm talking a teaspoon or two, not a whole lot. Just enough to help add that kind of silky mouthfeel that is absolutely fantastic. And that is the entire spread. Can you see those herbs? It's just such a nice verdant green color, and that olive oil really helps make it nice and silky. We use a ton of olive oil here, and I know olive oil is not local. I have not been able to find anyone in our mountainous area, surprise, surprise, that has an olive grove for us. But we have a great little shop here in town that sells only olive oil and vinegar, and it's called Oil and Vinegar. And it's awesome, and it's local, and the people that run it are fantastic. So although I can't buy olives locally, I do like to grab some olive oil from them if possible, which is great. So we are ready to start loading up our pizzas. I'm going to scooch this over. We'll get to the salad in just a minute. Now, I know you've seen these pizza crusts. Remember, it's really easy to make your own or grab them from your local pizzeria, no problem. And we're going to smear on, again, these have been pre-baked because I love that really crispy bottom crust. But if you want them softer or deep dish or whatever, feel free. Just do whatever works for you. We're going to smear on some of this awesome ricotta cheese. Oh, it's fantastic. Now when I bake these, I drizzle some olive oil and I put some kosher salt or some sea salt on them before I bake it, so it just kind of bakes down into the crust. I think it really helps flavor the crust. It's just delicious. So you don't need to do that right before you add this, but that's just something to keep in mind if you want to flavor your crust. Now for our onions. My new favorite thing. I'm going to use my fingers here because sometimes they get a little sticky and it's hard to get them to break apart, and you don't want a huge clump of onions on here. Let me get these down and then I'll show you how I've tried to kind of spread them out. Because, you know, a few caramelized onions are great. A whole lot is just a lot to handle. And they're so, I mean, the flavor is so rich and so strong that they're just fantastic. Let me move this out of the way. And you can see we just spread them out just like that. Delicious. I'm going to sprinkle some of our sausage, which has cooked, and everything is a little bit cool because I don't know about you, but my hands cannot handle when things are too hot. As you saw from the last burn, no need for another one. So that's on here, and then the last thing I'm going to put on are just a couple cubes of this mozzarella cheese. I mean, there's already ricotta, but I don't know about you, there's something that just makes a pizza when there's this really gooey, cheesy, kind of stringy topping. So that's it. Into the oven these go, 400 degrees for about probably 8 or 9 minutes, just for that to finish getting really crispy and for the cheese to melt. And I'm going to pull out these that I've already done. Look at that. See how that cheese just starts to melt and kind of ooze down? Perfect. Now, the last thing we're going to do is make a little arugula salad to go on top. This is so rich and so cheesy. It's nice to have something really bright and flavorful to sit on the top. And I love the contrast of warm, crispy pizza with cool, bright salad. Just delicious. So this is arugula. Now, where you are, you know, if you're in Southern California, you might get greens all year round that are grown out of doors. Here we have a ton of greenhouses that grow microgreens and other greens year round. So I can actually get arugula pretty fresh year round, which is great. Arugula is a little more peppery. It's got a bite to it. It's really nice against that really creamy pizza. So I just chopped some of that and put it in a bowl. And then you can use any vinaigrette you'd like. I have this awesome, when I was at the farmer's market in New York a couple months ago, I picked out a little jar of garlic rosemary jam. Garlic rosemary, and I had no clue what I could do with it, but it just sounded awesome. So I thought, you know what, that might be a great salad dressing. So this is simply some of that garlic rosemary jam, olive oil, and a little bit more vinegar. That's it. Whipped it all together, and it has made this fantastic vinaigrette. If you've got garlic rosemary jam, whip this up. If not, of course, whatever kind of vinaigrette, olive oil, lemon juice, balsamic vinegar, whatever you want. Just plop it down here on your lettuce. You don't need a whole lot. You don't want it swimming in the dressing because then it gets kind of slimy on top of your pizza. In fact, I probably put a little bit too much in here, so I'm going to grab some more arugula, and then we're just going to top these pizzas. The last thing I'm going to add, I love the brightness of vinegar. So I'm just going to put a little bit of balsamic vinegar right on the very top, on top of these salads, and we will be all set. Doesn't this look awesome? I wish you could smell it. This really is one of my favorite pizzas right now. I'm going to drizzle these with some balsamic vinegar, and then we'll take a bite. Oh my gosh, the smell is out of this world. I hope you've had a great month of pizzas. I know I have. I can't wait to see you next month, and we'll keep it a secret as to what the ingredient is. Till then, have a great one. Bye.